Sean Myrie. Please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. Haven't been on here for a while, but this episode is regarding this Canada movement. I don't know if some of you heard of it. You may not know of it, but if you're from Canada, you've probably seen a lot of people protesting online, downtown in Toronto, other places in Canada, because they have basically a lot of anger towards the government, accusing them of funding a lot of immigrants or movements coming into the country illegally or whatever. A lot of resentment. So now, finally, in Canada, a lot of people are starting to speak up. That's what they're claiming. Like when it was the COVID times and it was with the truckers, there was a lot of resentment to the Trudeau government that he's doing all these different things, and they basically hated him for that. But now, fast forward, Trudeau steps down, and a new uh, prime minister is in Carney. People are claiming he's the same. He's continuing the agenda, but it's a different man. Liberal, no conservative. People are fighting against Trudeau, but still, the conservatives didn't win. I don't know why. If so much people are against this government right now, Carney, who kind of represents where Trudeau came from. But this Canada movement, I find it very hypocritical. The same thing with the truckers when they had the trucker stuff, because there's been a lot of anger, big resentment against a certain type of people. Most likely, I would say brown people, people from India, and other groups, right? They're angry at the government for supporting um, Ukraine war, right? They're angry at the government for passing certain bills. People are saying they're taking away our rights, the freedom to express. I have my opinions about that too. But what I find hypocritical, these same people, the loudest people in these movements, right? They're doing their thing. They're calling out the government, especially in regards to this immigrant stuff. But what's kind of funny, you're seeing a lot of people who have immigrant backgrounds, right? Only first generation, join this movement, right? And I'll be straight up. The same people who represent, headlining the movement years and years ago, those people would be against the same people who are cheering with this Canada movement. A lot of these people who are headlining this Canada, mine. I'm talking about the so-called what they call minorities joining this Canada movement in solidarity against illegal immigrants or refugees or the government themselves. These same individuals who are the leaders they don't like a lot of you who is joining in to this movement. They're probably shocked how much people who are non-Caucasian are joining this movement, right? Maybe this is my opinion, but a lot of these people would never ever pay any of you guys any attention before. It's because they need numbers now. And they might say no. They're fighting for freedom. They're fighting for the rights. They're fighting for the preservation of Canada. Correct me if I'm wrong. The last time I remember, Canada was built on immigrants. This whole society we live in Canada was built on foreigners building up the country from the beginning. So the argument could be right now that the government is force feeding, is doing it too much, letting anybody in the country. And people have big resentment for it. They're saying they're doing fraud, they're saying they're doing crime, right? But I feel because I'm what they call a minority, I see through the bull. A lot of these individuals are just using platforms and using whoever they can use to amplify their view. A lot of these people, and I'll say most of them, the Caucasian ones, they are only mad because their time is up. They're not getting the privilege as much. There's no privilege anymore. This goes back to the truckers. There's no privilege for the so-called generational Canadians, and a lot of them was at the front lines. Same thing with this Canada movement. This Canada movement, one of the leaders is named, I'm going to try to say it right, nickname, Puck Daddy, or it's Phuck or something like that. Fuck, you could say Fuck Daddy, but it's Puck Daddy. He's the Canadian patriot. I find it like this because he's the big figure in this whole Canada movement. That whenever America is going through something, Canada likes to jump on the bandwagon too, because there's a lot of resentment in America with Trump against the immigrants and the illegal immigrants and deporting them, and he's coming hard down with the ICE, right? So now we feel, which we all Canada was always welcoming to immigrants, right, and refugees. So we have a group what feels that whatever the government's doing is wrong, which they always been doing it. You should not be surprised. It's called the New World Order. So when you're complaining about whatever party, it doesn't matter what party it is, conservatives or liberals, it doesn't matter who they put out there because they are puppets, right? So you weren't happy with Trudeau, and I said this before, right? So now you're not happy with the next guy, Carney. But if it was so bad, why didn't most of you vote for Poilievre? If it was so bad, why isn't Poilievre the prime minister? The same people who are going out with this Canada movement, protesting against the government, why didn't Poilievre become the leader of the country? Hmm, right? If you're against this government so much, why isn't Poilievre the prime minister? Now you got Carney, right? So people, they just want something to complain about. I called it out. When Trudeau is gone, they're going to complain still, right? If a conservative person comes in, they probably will still complain, right? Yes, they're taking away rights, which we knew this, well, smart people knew this was coming. It's called the New World Order with the digital ID and all these different types of restrictions, all these rules, what they want to change, seen it coming. So this Canada movement, what I think of it, it is foolishness. If I gonna translate it, bullshit. Because the only people who want to benefit off of it mostly are the people that it's hurting. The people, uh, and it's hurting them in a way because the only reason they're hurting because they're probably really just undercover racists, and they're using this movement to say that we're doing this for the rights of Canadians. What? So who are the Canadians? Who are the Canadians? Canada is built up full of immigrants, right? And the ones marching and cheering along with this movement, you guys look like damn idiots too. You look like fools. You have the rights. We're gonna be that. I saw that coming. I'm not surprised. They're taking away rights every day all around the world. But this Canada movement, Canada is built on immigrants. If it wasn't for the immigrants, there would be no Canada. Right now, most of the colleges and universities, they rely on immigrants, foreign students. Without that, that hurts the economy. Without foreign students going to these universities and colleges, it hurts the economy. And the jobs, what they're taking away, I'm trying to wonder which jobs they're talking about. The franchise that maybe their family or their cultural background own, well, that's Canada, the monopoly, right? If you don't get hired because you're claiming these foreign, especially brown people, are taking all the jobs, right? Like, really, come on now. You're telling me there's no job, like they taking all the jobs, or is it just certain type of jobs? And now that it's affecting, certain types of jobs, it's a problem because it's not just the minimum wage jobs that they've been doing, that it's now more like, higher paid jobs. So because now it's affecting higher paid positions and good jobs, now the people who worked for these companies are angry, right? And they're fighting against the quote unquote system. This Canada movement makes no damn sense, right? And the only reason we're getting more restrictions and certain things is because, I'll be straight up, when they see a lot of people come together, the government, they start to get nervous, and they will start to change certain things in desperation. So maybe that's what's going on. Canada can't believe there's actually some type of movement growing, and they're probably watching whoever's the ones who are pushing it, right? You seen what happened in England recently. A judge, uh, I think, I don't know if it's fully through, sentenced a guy to what, 2 to 7 years just for talking on social media, talking, saying he might incite violence. They the English UK, which Canada is under, right? Will we follow, because Canada likes to follow a lot of stuff from especially America and of course England, right? It's getting ridiculous now. I'm guessing that's what the Canada movement is fighting against. They're fighting against restrictions, and they're fighting for freedom of speech. There is no freedom of speech. I knew that a long time ago, before Trudeau. There is no freedom of speech, even if you think you can speak freely. So I'm guessing this is what the Canada movement stands for: fighting for freedom of speech, fighting to express themselves, and for equality, what they claim is not going great in Canada. That the government has been basically screwing us up. They've been doing that for a long time. Nothing new. Not just because all these foreign people been coming here. Canada been screwed up for a long time. Canada been helping other people for a long time, right? So, not going to talk about this too much, but this Canada movement is ridiculous. Uh, it's kind of funny. Ignorance brings people together, and that's what it's doing. The ignorance is bringing people together. The hate is bringing people together. It's not the love, it's the hate what's bringing people together. Just look on that. It's not the love, it's the hate what's bringing people together. So, that energy you got to look into, really look into it. But this is your host, Sean Myrie of the Down to Earth Network.